guys, welcome to the Campbell House. I'm going to show you guys around today. It's going to be a little bit different of a video, but I want to show you guys this place and how amazing it is. And then secondly, I want to show you how it compares and contrasts to my house and why I have a lot of the ideas about my house that I have, because this place has inspired me so very much. So let's get on with that. So this is the entryway, and as you can see via the chandeliers and the hall mirror and everything is original. This photo's from 1880, and you can see everything's still here. It's all the same stuff. It's really incredible, and if you're in town or in St. Louis, please visit. It's amazing. So let me show you some of the things here and how they relate to my place. So here on the left, we have these amazing pocket doors, which of course, somewhat similar to mine, maybe a little bit more fancy. Yeah, as you can see, absolutely gorgeous, and they definitely move a whole lot better than mine. We'll get there one day. And then into the parlor. Now the amazing thing about this place, guys, is the simple fact that all the furniture here, or 95% of the furniture here, is actually original to the house. This is what the owners had in here. Oh, you're no problem. So you guys can see, I mean, from paintings to chandeliers to, the settees, everything here. It's absolutely incredible. Now this house is a museum. Nobody lives here, but you can see the, absolute, love that they had for this building and preserving it. Now one thing you guys will notice up here is the medallions or ceiling roses, depending on which continent you're on. This is what I mean by having a little bit of gold leaf on it. Just a little bit, just to accent it, because I think that looks amazing. And the ceilings here, this is probably a similar style to the way I'll be going with my ceilings, although mine might be a little bit more Eastlake, because this is houses from the 1850s, where my house is from the 1890s. So, slightly different comparison there, but place is absolutely gorgeous. I love this place. And then coming into our parlors. Now their parlor, as Andy has told me, that they had the middle wall removed, so their parlor is one big open room because this was removed at some point during its lifetime. But we have the two separate units still, and you can see actually the medallions in here, or ceiling roses again, aren't terribly different from theirs. Now theirs are larger, it is a bigger house, it was a grander home, but they're not terribly different. And so, now you can see that with a little bit of color on there and just a little bit of gold leaf, just accenting it, it's going to pop. And with these ceilings beautifully painted, stenciled, which I'm going to do myself, you can kind of see how, this is all going to work and how, we're going to get this place back together. I'm really using the Campbell House as my guide. That's what you can expect here. Down the hallway, guys. From the parlor, you can see they've actually got these stenciled on. This isn't wallpaper here, but you can see all the stencils and the gold sheen to everything. And it's so cool because they know exactly how this looks, A, because of the photos, and B, because they found the patterns. So you can see the original patterns here, which are just, it's awesome. I'm really hoping to uncover something like this in my house, and I would do the exact same thing. I have a piece of it in plexi like that, because it's just so cool. So here we are, guys, in the dining room. Now, of course, this is a lot more grand, let's say, than my place. But, still, there are similarities, with having the fireplace and everything. This wallpaper here, absolutely amazing. There's actually one of the samples that I have over my mantle is actually a piece of this wallpaper. It's a rather small sample, but, here you can see a little bit closer, the gold sheen and everything. It's just gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. And also, they have a really amazing inlay in the floor as well, which is something my second parlor in this house share. Just this really amazing woodwork. And then, of course, you got these amazing, I believe they're tiger striped oak doors.
They're painted.
Painted to look like tiger striped oak doors. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yeah, a lot of faux graining in this era, and I actually have found a little bit of that in my house, and I'll show you guys that as well. Okay guys, for comparison, here's my dining room. Now of course, not nearly as fancy. And sorry, it's so backlit. But you can see, you know, some of the, you know, the decor here and how it would have been quite wonderful as well. And you know, with the papers and stuff like that in here, and how you can see all the different styles and textures and stuff that they use, that's how this is going to look. This isn't going to be a plain white room. We're using papers and wonderful, wonderful things in here to make this come back to life. I want this to look like the baby cousin of the of the Campbell House. And of course, you know, this is our fireplace and what it looks like in comparison to those rooms. And of course our inlaid or parquet floors. Of course different than theirs, but you know, really gorgeous again. And you know, it just shows you that the style, even though we're slightly different in era, like the styles were somewhat the same. They were different, but they were still doing a lot of the same things, a lot of the same techniques. So this is the morning room or the informal parlor. Now I don't have anything quite as amazing as this room is in this house. But, you know, this is kind of maybe more stylistically where I would go with mine. I love that they have the green fireplace tiles like we just got back, which actually is because of this place. As you can see, I mean, absolutely gorgeous stuff, guys. Just really, really beautiful. And all the lights and the decor, I mean, everything in here. And of course, like wallpaper, these were those samples that I got. They actually gave them to me to, you know, just have a look and see what they would look like on my walls. So as you can see, this is some of that being utilized here in this room, and it's really just gorgeous. And, you know, very jealous of their stained glass windows. I don't know how well they're coming through on camera, but you guys can see them. They're just amazing. You guys can see. Now, I've considered in my place adding a few of these as well, but you know, it's hard to figure out what they would have even looked like if they did have them. And then I want to show you guys the kitchen real quick because I showed you guys a photo of the stove in here when I went and picked mine up, but I want to show you guys how theirs is kind of laid out and how they have theirs all set up. So, as you can see, they have a nice quick meal stove as well. Hopefully mine looks this nice after it's restored. As you can see, same brand. And again, this was the precursor to Magic Chef. So, and built here in St. Louis. That's why, you know, that's why this stove here is the reason why I wanted to find a quick meal stove. Because I think it looks wonderful in here. I think it fits the aesthetic, the era, even though this is a more 1920s stove. Also, I really, really love their sink. I would so like to have something like this produced for my kitchen. Will that happen? Not 100% sure. We might end up with maybe something like a farm-style sink, or I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what I can find. And then I wanted to show you guys this because this is really the only kind of cabinetry I'm going to have in the kitchen. Most everything will, oh, let me get it where it's not so bright. So this is the only kind of cabinetry I'm hoping to have in the kitchen is something like this to be built in. And I'm going to use this as kind of a pantry / hide more modern things in the kitchen. Andy, the curator here, showed me this really, really cool little hinged shelf here. And you could open it up and open this thing completely up. And I'm thinking, you know, this would be a great spot to hide a dishwasher or something like that. Or, you know, maybe a microwave or whatever I gotta hide, you know, your modern conveniences, but still put it in a really awesome old shell like this. So you can compare and contrast with my kitchen. So their stove, my stove will be going right here. Where their sink was, my sink's going to be going next to the stove, right here. Andy actually told me he has a guy who can maybe make me one of those copper sinks like they have at the Campbell House, and that would be really cool right there, I think. So we might be going for that look after all. This will be where the fridge goes, my monitor top, which I have in the other room. I'll show you guys that really quickly as well. And then that nifty little shelf cabinet that they have, well, I guess it's a cabinet. I'm hoping to build basically a replica of it right here and have it come out far enough here that I could build that little like latched or hinged system to open it up and then be able to open the doors as well and hide a dishwasher in there. Personally, I don't think I need a dishwasher, but Kim will kill me if there isn't a dishwasher in this kitchen, so I gotta hide one, and I think that's the best way to do it. And I think it's also a nifty thing if you guys are trying to recreate your own kitchens from that time period, that you can hide modern appliances in old-looking shaker-style cabinetry like that. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do here, and I highly recommend it to anybody else as well. I thought that was something really cool that Andy had showed me. And just because I don't think I've ever actually told you guys or showed you guys this, here's actually my monitor top fridge. Now, of course, it's in 3 pieces. I don't have the hardware for the door, but actually the enamel on this thing is essentially perfect. Like, there's not a scratch on it. It's beautiful. It's got some dirt on it and some grime and some dusty stuff, but it's in basically perfect condition. You have the little foot pedal here, which I think is pretty nifty. You push that guy and the door would open automatically for you. Here it busts your shin when you do it though, so be careful. And there's the door there. And then of course my motor, which is of course upside down, which it probably shouldn't be, but I don't really have a place to go with it right now. But yeah, you can see. That'll be my refrigerator. So here, guys, we have the housekeeper's room. Is that a photo of the housekeeper herself?
That's her, Mary.
This is actually her herself. One of the housekeepers. This is Mary.
She was a housekeeper from 1905 to 1936.
1905 to 1936. That's really cool. So you can see her room, even her wardrobe here, which is what they would have worn. And again, guys, like, you know, a pretty fancy, you know, room for housekeeping, for maids, you know, like they didn't really skimp. And I'm assuming that they didn't really too much in my area as well. Now, of course, the woodwork gets a bit more plain and stuff like that, but still, you know, rather nice dressers, rather nice bed. I mean, look at the, you know, the headboard on this thing. I mean, it's really, really gorgeous. I mean, they didn't, you know, they were in a lot of ways still part of the family as well, you know. They spent a lot of time with the family, of course. Here you can see, she's got a little sewing table and everything. Really, really cool. And of course, here's our maid's room. Again, it won't be as grand as some of the nicer rooms. You saw it had the lesser carpet in it and a lot of the lesser furniture. But still pretty nice. And even though Kim's going to use this as her craft room, we're still going to have paper in here. We're still going to set it up. All right, guys, so one of my absolute favorite rooms in the house, and I think what will be one of my favorite rooms when I get it done in my house, is the library here in the Campbell House. I mean, I love the paper here. I love the way it's set up. And we have a bay, kind of like, well, I guess theirs is more of like a straight pop-up, but we have the bay at the end of ours with the fireplace. They've got their fireplace actually located over here, but you can see the amazing, you know, setup. I mean, this is kind of what I want that space to look like. There will be one exception to the rule, is I do have to have my computer in that space because I will be using it as an office. But maybe I'll build something to hide that when I'm not using it. You can see their, you know, beautiful marble fireplaces. Which, I mean, everything, you know, to this place is just, you know, it's right to a T. And, you know, I'm only hoping to achieve something as beautiful as this. Also, got to get a little bit better at my oil painting, because I'm really hoping to have some of these on the walls at some point of Mr. Brown and, you know, maybe me and Kim dressed up like Victorians, which I think would be pretty cool. And we could, you know, if we're going off of this one, we could even have some of our pets too, which would be really, really amazing. Now, again, it's a bit messy in here right now, but you can see this will be our library. And so you can kind of see, I want to have, you know, like that bookshelf that they have, I want to have it here along this wall. Whole row of bookshelves, and I'll have some wood made. We'll get it looking correct. You know, see the door I stripped this weekend. We'll finish that this coming weekend. And just kind of see how this is all going to be laid out. I mean, you can kind of see, like, here in front of the mantle, have, you know, our settee and, you know, a little parlor set up in here so you can hang out and enjoy the fire. Although I don't know if we'll have a fire there, but you can kind of picture how at least it'll be laid out and look and operate. So here we are, guys, in the mother-in-law suite. Again, you know I keep using the word cool and amazing, but, you know, what else do you say? It is really cool and amazing. I love this bed, by the way. We gotta try to find something like that at some point here. But again, guys, so you guys would know, the reason I keep saying that, you know, my house definitely had carpet in those 2 rooms is because a lot of rooms like this had carpet. Like, this was really fashionable and really expensive as well. Of course, something of this quality. Not every carpet was that expensive, but, you know, when you get into the nicer rooms like this. And then something that's really cool too, guys, is they have the shutters, very, very similar to mine. Let's go to one that's closed. As you can see, these ones they fold out. Like you can see here, they don't fold in like mine do, but they're still very, very similar. Again, just showing off the similarities between the Campbell House here and my house, or the Charles S. Brown house, I guess we could say. And then, of course, I really like, and I think something like this might end up in one of our rooms, is this Anglo-Japanese wallpaper, which is really, really cool. This is maybe a bit more later paper than some of the others in the house, because this is, you know, when the mother-in-law moved in, this would have been the most up-to-date style in around the 1880s. And of course, my house being 89, 90, ours would have been a little bit later than this, but this is similar style. And of course, we have a really cool Eastlake clock up here, which is something I'm trying to mimic heavily because I really like the Eastlake style. So you're gonna see a lot of that in the furniture in our house once we get to being done. And of course, here's our big bank of shutters that we have here at the house. And of course, unlike theirs, ours do fold in. There's fold in, of course, as well, but ours folds into the window, as you can see. I want to introduce you to Andy. Hello. He's the director here at the Campbell House. He's amazing. If you have the chance, ask for Andy. He'll give you the best tour of your life, promised. But he's going to show us, actually, there's 3 grades of carpet sitting right here, and he wants to show you the difference of the 3.
So we have 3 types of fitted carpet that you would have seen in the 1870s and 80s. This is the cheapest. It's a woven material, woven wool. All these carpets are made out of 100% wool, but it's almost like a fabric. It's a flat weave. Some people even call it floor cloth. The next variety here is what's called a looped tile carpet. It looks like needlework. The fibers of the carpet are looped, and so that's why it looks like needlework. And this would have been kind of mid-grade. And then the most expensive carpet of this era would be what's called the cut pile carpet. And that's right here what you see out in the hallway. It's thicker, it's plusher. The pile has to be cut even to create this smooth surface at the end of the manufacturing of it. And this would have been the most expensive carpet.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Shot here. Here at the top of the stairs now, guys. Is this a really cool stair runner? And actually, guys, I do plan on kind of doing carpet in my stairwell like this, where you would have the runner here, but then have the matching carpet on the landing in that hallway. So expect something quite like this in my house once we get to that level.
That's certainly the way that would have been, no doubt.
And with the floors down here, you could see in the hall at the Campbell House that this was actually all carpet. And I'm not 100% sure if that would have been the case down here. But on the stairs, of course, you can see remnants of the runner right there. Now that's probably not the remnants of the original runner, but you can see the marks where it's not even stained going right up the middle. And so yes, there would have been a really gorgeous carpet runner all the way up these beautiful stairs. And my thought here, and why I keep saying, because this is the maid's area I've been working in, right here, I'm going to put probably carpet over this entire hallway like they have at the Campbell House. Which is why, and it will probably stop right here. And this will probably go back to being the pine that I've laid down. But that's why I've left that transition there, because this will be carpet all the way up into that spot. Again, these floors are nothing fancy. There's not a speck of finish on them, so I imagine that they were probably always carpeted. And that's what I'm thinking we're going to do again. Now with the bedrooms here, I'm not sure exactly which way we're going to go with these, but I think these floors in here will probably end up going with an oak hardwood on top of these existing floors. I'm not, and I know a lot of people want me to keep these floors. They're pretty rough, And this wouldn't have been the original finish of these floors. They don't have any finish on them at all. This would have never been exposed. And, you know, this isn't going to be, let's say, like a loft where I want the character of the wood. I want the character of the Victorian era. This is trying to bring it back to their time, not to bring it up to some modern sensibilities in the respect of even decor. I just don't, you know, like, it's a Victorian house. I want it to be Victorian, not, you know, not to say that I'm going to leave everything being that way, but for the most part, this house is going that way, and I'm doing things according to that. So then coming out of the hallway, guys, I want to show you guys the biggest, or what we would maybe in the modern day call the master bedrooms. I mean, as you can see, guys, just, this is, of course, where all of the most expensive furniture, carpet, fittings, everything would have been, except for, of course, the parlors. These are the secondary most probably expensive rooms. You see the headboard on that is incredible. And again, guys, these things that are in these rooms, they're the items of the owners. These were originally here. Like I said, 95% of this was here. That's what makes this place so special, is because not only are you getting to see this gorgeous house, but this is what it really would have looked like. This isn't fake or phony or really put together in any way. It was just put back together the way it already was. Like 95%, like I said. Like down to the furniture, down to the items you see here on the tables and desks. Everything. And aren't these, I mean, the carpet in this room. You know, and then if we want to talk about ceiling medallions or roses, that might be the best example I've ever seen. It's incredible. And so just, it looks so delicate. And I'm sure it is, actually. Don't touch it, but as you can see, I mean, this place is really, it's quite a treasure to have something like this in the city. And this place has been an absolute goldmine for me in my research and thoughts. If I ever have a question, I ask Andy. Andy responds. Andy's the guy who gave me those, those wallpaper samples. It's just amazing. These guys are so nice here, and they do such an incredible job. And so if you're ever in the city of St. Louis, please, I beg you, come check this place out, because it is absolutely incredible. And of course, again, we have very, very different colors of fireplaces, and these things are very different. Even our tile work is very different. But, you can still see some of the similarities. I mean, they have all coal-fired fireplaces. These are all coal fireplaces. You can see what a wonderful room this is going to be, especially if you look at the context of the Campbell House and how amazing these rooms will be someday. Okay, guys, really quickly too, relevant to what I am doing in the house right now, this is one of the bathrooms here at the Campbell House. And as you can see, this is kind of what I'm aiming for. Which I don't know if I'll be able to achieve this kind of amazing stuff, but as you can see, this toilet here, really nicely embossed or engraved. It's really, really cool. I don't know if I'll be able to find anything quite as nice as that, but we're going to aim for that. And of course, it is a high tank toilet. And this is something we're definitely going to get one way or the other. It might have to be a modern reproduction, but we'll try our best. So you can see their bathtub here, which is kind of why I've got that wooden top one in there. I've kind of wanted to do something very similar to this in that area. Will it exactly happen like this? I don't know. We might just end up with a regular clawfoot, maybe even just the one with the wooden rimmed. As you can see also the beadboard in here, which of course my house has a ton of this stuff. It is everywhere, all over the house. And yeah, just to show you guys, yes, it would have been original. Basically, I just wanted to show you guys what my plans are aesthetically based on what I've seen at the Campbell House and how I know a period house should look. Again, my house is a bit of a different period, but I do want to be as diligent in my research and how I find things as they are and have been, and put my house together to the absolute best of my knowledge, back to the way it was back then. Now, will everything be 100% perfect? No. Is some of it going to be made up? Yes. But I want it to be, I want you to feel like you step back in time when you step here, like I feel when I go to the Campbell House. Now, of course, also, guys, I want too heavily, I know I say it every time, the link's always in my description for the Campbell House. If you are ever in St. Louis, please stop by there. They've been nothing but wonderful to me, and to be honest, it's one of the coolest places you go in the city because not only is it a perfect Victorian home, but all of the furniture originally belonged to the family. 95% of everything in the house is there from the family. So none of it's inauthentic. It's always been in that house. So it's really cool to be able to walk through there and understand that, like, wow, this is exactly what it looked like back then. Every piece of wallpaper in that place has been completely remade. If they have a photo of it, it was remade exactly the way it was. And it's a really cool step back into time, and not even a make-believe time period. It is exactly the way it was in 1880. So, really cool place. I heavily recommend it. I asked for Andy while I was there. Andy, again, thank you so very much for giving me the tour again today. I can't thank you enough for, you know, everything you've done for me. And yeah, please check out the Campbell House. It's really rad.